Hello and welcome to the Wise Senior, your trusted place for guidance, wellness, and inner peace after 60. Today, we're diving into a topic many men hesitate to talk about, erectile dysfunction. But what if I told you it's not always a problem and that your morning erections could be telling you something hopeful? Stick around because we're going to break down the science and give you simple, powerful ways to naturally support your vitality without relying solely on pills. Have you ever noticed that even though you struggle with intimacy during the day, you still wake up with an erection in the morning? If so, you're not alone, and it's not a contradiction. In fact, it's one of the most telling signs that your body still has the capability for healthy sexual function. It just might be struggling under certain conditions, and that's actually a hopeful sign. Let's talk about George. He's 65, recently retired, and lives a fairly active life. He walks every day, eats well, and has regular checkups, but over the past year, he's found himself increasingly anxious about his sexual performance. Despite having regular morning erections, a sign of good blood flow and hormonal balance, he's felt disconnected and distracted when it matters most. George started to worry something was wrong with him physically, even though deep down, he knew the issue might be more emotional. Here's the thing, during restful sleep, especially in REM cycles, your body naturally suppresses stress hormones like cortisol. This is when your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, the system responsible for rest, recovery, and yes, arousal. When George is asleep, his mind is quiet, his body is relaxed, and his natural sexual function operates without resistance. That's why morning erections still happen. They're not random, they're a reflection of a well-functioning system, free from the interference of daytime anxiety or pressure. What George didn't realize was that he wasn't dealing with a mechanical failure, but rather with emotional stressors. Work transitions, aging, expectations, and even quiet worries about performance were getting in the way. The problem wasn't that his body had given up. It was that his mind had taken the driver's seat during moments when calmness and presence were needed most. Understanding the difference between a physical issue and a psychological one is critical. Physical erectile dysfunction typically affects a man's ability to get or maintain an erection in any context, morning, night, or otherwise. But if you're still experiencing spontaneous erections in the morning, your blood vessels, nerves, and hormones are likely working just fine. That shifts the spotlight to factors like stress, fatigue, emotional disconnect, or performance pressure. This realization was a game changer for George. Instead of turning to medication immediately, he decided to focus on reducing stress and reconnecting with his body. He practiced deep breathing before bed, tried mindfulness exercises in the morning, and even began talking openly with his partner about how he was feeling. The simple act of slowing down, reconnecting emotionally, and letting go of expectation allowed him to reclaim not just his confidence, but also his sense of intimacy. If this sounds familiar, know that George's story isn't rare. Many men over 60 experience this exact phenomenon and mistakenly assume something is broken. But in reality, your body may be doing its part. It just needs your mind to meet it halfway. The takeaway: morning erections are more than just a curiosity. They're a valuable diagnostic clue. They tell you that your body is capable, that it responds to calm, rest, and hormonal balance. If those same responses disappear under pressure or anxiety, it might be time to focus not on pills, but on stress reduction, emotional reconnection, and natural rhythm. In upcoming segments, we'll explore exactly how to do that. But for now, remember this: if you're waking up with an erection, you're not broken, you're human. And that means there's hope, not just for sexual performance, but for rediscovering joyful, pressure-free intimacy in a way that feels natural again. Let's talk about something you may have never heard of, but it quietly influences nearly every major system in your body. It's not a hormone, a vitamin, or a fancy supplement. It's a natural molecule your body makes every single day, and its name is nitric oxide. Now don't let the chemistry name throw you off. Nitric oxide is simple and powerful. It acts like a messenger in your blood vessels, telling them when to relax and open up. That simple act of relaxing blood vessels has a cascade of benefits. It improves blood flow, delivers more oxygen to your muscles and brain, and yes, it plays a central role in achieving and maintaining a healthy erection. Think of nitric oxide as the silent conductor of your vascular orchestra. Without enough of it, your blood doesn't flow as freely, Your energy dips, your heart works harder, and intimacy, well, it often suffers too. So why are we talking about it now? Because after age 40, your body's ability to make nitric oxide declines by as much as 50%, and by 60 or 70, that number continues to slide unless you take steps to support it. The result? More stiffness in the arteries, less responsiveness during arousal, and often the beginnings of erectile issues, even when your desire is still there. Take Alan, for example. He's 68, retired, and in relatively good shape, but he started noticing that intimacy just didn't feel the same anymore. He still felt the spark, but his body wasn't keeping up. After ruling out serious health issues, his doctor explained how nitric oxide naturally declines with age. Alan was surprised. He'd never even heard of it, but when he started making a few simple changes, like switching to nasal breathing during his walks, adding beets and leafy greens to his meals, and doing short daily workouts, he began to notice a difference. More energy, better sleep, and slowly his confidence returned in the bedroom too. Here's the science behind why those things helped. Nitric oxide helps stimulate testosterone production, a hormone essential not just for sexual health, but for muscle strength, mood, and motivation. It also helps regulate cortisol, your stress hormone. When cortisol is high, which is common in chronic stress, it suppresses nitric oxide and testosterone alike. That's a double hit to your vitality. But nitric oxide isn't just about sex. It supports your heart, improves brain function, and helps your blood sugar stay in check by improving insulin sensitivity. Especially important for men with prediabetes or diabetes. So how can you support your nitric oxide levels naturally? Eat nitrate-rich foods like spinach, bok choy, lettuce, beets, and carrots. Your body converts the natural nitrates in these veggies into nitric oxide. Breathe through your nose. Nitric oxide is made in your nasal passages, and breathing through your nose helps deliver it into your lungs and bloodstream. Exercise regularly. Even light activity like walking increases nitric oxide production by activating your blood vessels and improving circulation. Get quality sleep. Poor sleep reduces nitric oxide and raises cortisol, which creates a vicious cycle of stress and sluggish blood flow. Avoid excessive sugar and alcohol. They damage the cells lining your blood vessels, which are the primary producers of nitric oxide in your body. Watch your medications. Drugs like statins or certain antidepressants can lower nitric oxide indirectly. Always speak to your doctor before making changes, but know it's worth asking the question. When you hear about medications for erectile dysfunction, like sildenafil or tadalafil, guess what? They work by enhancing the nitric oxide pathway. So instead of relying on the pill, why not help your body rebuild that pathway naturally? Nitric oxide isn't just some background molecule. It's a key to your energy, your vitality, and your confidence, especially as you age. And the best part, boosting it is free. It starts with small daily choices: breathing better, eating smarter, moving your body, caring for your stress. Because the more nitric oxide you make, the better your blood flows, and the better you'll feel in every part of life. Most men don't realize that one of the biggest enemies to their sex life isn't age, it's stress. And it's not just in your head. Chronic stress has a real measurable effect on your body, especially when it comes to intimacy and erections. When you're under pressure, your brain activates the sympathetic nervous system, the same system that kicks in during emergencies. It's often called the fight or flight mode. This is great when you're running from danger. Not so great when you're trying to feel close to your partner. Why? Because sexual arousal requires a completely different state. The parasympathetic system, nicknamed rest and digest. This is the mode where your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, and blood flows freely to all the right places. It's your body's calm zone, the one where pleasure can actually happen. Cortisol, your main stress hormone, works against this system. When cortisol is high, because of work overload, sleep deprivation, relationship worries, or even hidden anxiety, your body can't relax enough for arousal. It's like trying to make love with your foot still on the brake pedal. Let's take John as an example. At 67, he still had normal morning erections, but struggled with intimacy at night. He thought it might be aging or something more serious. But after a few conversations with his doctor, he realized stress from caring for his elderly father managing bills, and barely sleeping was the real culprit. Once he began a simple nightly routine, deep breathing, 10 minutes of stretching, and unplugging from news before bed, his body began to respond again. Slowly but surely. Stress also depletes nitric oxide, that crucial molecule we talked about in the last segment. Without enough of it, your blood vessels can't expand the way they should. That means less blood flow where you need it most, and that often leads to weaker or shorter erections. Combine that with a drop in testosterone, which also happens under chronic stress, and you have a perfect recipe for sexual frustration. It's no wonder erectile dysfunction is so common among men who feel anxious, overwhelmed, or emotionally shut down. But here's the encouraging part. Stress is something we can influence, and that means your sex life isn't stuck. Start with the basics: sleep better, breathe slower, get outside. Even a short walk in nature or 5 minutes of meditation can shift your body out of stress mode. Yoga, Tai Chi, light stretching, all of these help calm the nervous system and support nitric oxide production. And don't forget connection. Talking to a close friend, your partner, or a therapist can help offload emotional pressure that silently builds up inside. You don't need to carry everything alone. Many men try to treat ED with pills, but those won't work well if stress is still shutting down the system. You can't override your biology, but you can support it. Remember, regaining your vitality isn't just about hormones or blood flow, it's about balance. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your health is to slow down, let go of pressure, and give your nervous system a chance to recover. Take a deep breath. Your body is capable of more than you think when you give it the peace it needs to respond. Now that you understand how important nitric oxide is for your health, especially your sexual health, let's talk about what you can actually do to increase it. In the good news, you don't need fancy supplements or expensive treatments. Your body already knows how to make it. You just have to give it the right signals. Let's start with something simple: how you breathe. Most people don't realize this, but nitric oxide is produced in your nasal passages, specifically in your paranasal sinuses. When you breathe through your nose, not your mouth, this nitric oxide travels with the air into your lungs, helping to expand your blood vessels and deliver oxygen more effectively throughout your body. That means better circulation, better heart health, and yes, better support for healthy erections. If you've fallen into the habit of breathing through your mouth, especially at night, consider gentle nasal strips or practicing slow nasal breathing during the day. It might feel strange at first, but your body will thank you. Next, movement. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym for hours. In fact, just 20 to 30 minutes of light exercise a day, think walking, stretching, yoga, or dancing in your kitchen, can significantly boost your body's nitric oxide production. How? Exercise puts just enough stress on your blood vessels to stimulate their inner lining, the endothelium, to release more nitric oxide. And remember, nitric oxide also helps reduce stress levels. That means the more you move, the calmer you'll feel, and the better your body will function in the bedroom. Let's bring in diet. Certain foods are rich in natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide. And these aren't obscure superfoods. They're everyday produce you can find at any market. Leafy greens like spinach, arugula, bok choy, and lettuce are all excellent sources. Then there are beets, one of the best nitrate-rich vegetables you can eat. Roast them, juice them, slice them into salads. However you enjoy them, they're a powerful ally for circulation and energy. Other great options: carrots, celery, and radishes all contribute to nitric oxide production. You don't need to overhaul your whole diet. Just aim to get a variety of colorful vegetables on your plate every day, especially greens and reds. Now meet Arthur, 70, a retired woodworker from Oregon. After struggling with low energy and mild ED, he started making small changes. He swapped his morning toast and bacon for a green smoothie with spinach and beets. He began taking walks around his neighborhood, focusing on slow, steady breathing through his nose. Within a month, he noticed he was sleeping better and feeling more confident in intimate moments. Nothing extreme, just consistent, natural changes. There's one more tip: avoid what drains nitric oxide. Excess sugar, alcohol, and smoking all reduce your nitric oxide levels. So cutting back, even a little, can help your body bounce back. And don't underestimate sleep. Your body produces nitric oxide during deep, restful sleep, helping to repair tissues and regulate hormones. So here's your takeaway. Nitric oxide is your body's natural performance enhancer. It's safe, powerful, and free. By breathing through your nose, moving your body, and nourishing yourself with real food, you're not just improving circulation, you're laying the foundation for lasting energy, vitality, and connection. You don't need to be perfect. Just start where you are, with one deep breath. Let's talk food, because what you put on your plate can quietly but powerfully support your circulation, energy, and yes, sexual vitality. At the heart of it all is one key molecule, nitric oxide, and the most natural way to boost it, through nitrate-rich foods that your body converts into nitric oxide. Let's start with the superstars, leafy greens. One of the top sources of dietary nitrates is spinach. Not just the cooked kind, but fresh spinach tossed into salads, smoothies, or scrambled eggs. Just 100 grams of spinach can contain between 24 and 387 milligrams of nitrates, depending on how it was grown. Next up, bok choy, a type of Chinese cabbage with an impressive nitrate profile. Depending on conditions, it may deliver between 100 to over 300 milligrams per 100 grams. Stir-fried, steamed, or raw, it's versatile and nutrient-dense. Lettuce also makes the list, especially varieties like romaine and butterhead. It might not be the flashiest veggie, but it quietly contributes to better circulation, with 13 to over 250 milligrams of nitrates per serving. Then there's a personal favorite for many beets. These ruby red roots are nitrate bombs, converting easily into nitric oxide. A single glass of beetroot juice has been shown in studies to increase nitric oxide levels by over 20% within just 45 minutes. You can roast them, juice them, or shred them into salads, however you like them. They're one of the most efficient ways to support your blood vessels and performance. And don't forget carrots. With up to 195 milligrams of nitrates per 100 grams, they're not just good for your eyes, they're good for your circulation too. Add them raw, steamed, or roasted. The more color on your plate, the better your blood flow. Now, while greens and root vegetables do the heavy lifting, there are other nitric oxide-friendly foods that offer additional support. Let's talk garlic. This humble bulb isn't just for flavor. It contains compounds that help stimulate nitric oxide production and keep your blood vessels flexible. One clove a day can make a difference. Then there's citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, lemons. They're rich in vitamin C, which helps protect nitric oxide molecules from breaking down too quickly. Try adding fresh lemon juice to your water, or enjoying a few slices of orange with breakfast. Feeling indulgent? Good, because dark chocolate is on your side. Rich in flavonoids, dark chocolate with 70% or more cocoa can enhance nitric oxide production and improve blood flow. Just 1 or 2 squares a day can provide a delicious dose of support. Don't forget about nuts and seeds, especially walnuts and flax seeds. These provide arginine, an amino acid your body also uses to produce nitric oxide. They're easy to sprinkle on salads, yogurt, or blend into smoothies. And yes, watermelon. This juicy fruit contains citrulline, another nitric oxide booster that also supports healthy blood pressure. It's a hydrating, heart-friendly snack that's perfect on warm days. Meet Leo, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Arizona. He'd been dealing with low energy and mild erectile difficulties. Rather than rushing into medication, he decided to start with his diet. He began every morning with a smoothie made from spinach, beetroot, a touch of pomegranate, and a slice of orange. Within a few weeks, he noticed not just better intimacy, but better mood, better sleep, and more stamina during his hikes. So here's the takeaway. Food is not just fuel, it's medicine. Adding just a few servings a day of these nitric oxide-rich foods can improve your circulation, balance your hormones, and help you feel more vibrant, from head to heart to everywhere else. And the best part, it's delicious. Let's shift gears and talk about what might be quietly working against your progress. The hidden saboteurs that reduce nitric oxide, damage blood vessels, and quietly lower your vitality. Meet Charles, 69, a retired architect who prided himself on staying active. He walked every morning, ate fairly well, and even started adding spinach to his smoothies. But he couldn't figure out why his energy and performance still seemed to dip. After a routine checkup, his doctor pointed to something surprising. His blood sugar levels were creeping up, and so was his evening alcohol intake, both of which were sabotaging his nitric oxide levels without him realizing it. Here's the science behind it. When we consume high amounts of sugar, especially refined sugar in processed foods, desserts, or sweet drinks, it doesn't just cause weight gain. It damages the endothelial lining, the thin layer inside your blood vessels. That's the very layer responsible for producing nitric oxide. Damaged lining means lower nitric oxide, poorer circulation, and you guessed it, weaker erections. Sugar also promotes inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which impact testosterone levels. And when testosterone drops, libido and overall vitality can suffer. It's not about cutting out sugar completely, but being aware of hidden sources and reducing intake can make a dramatic difference. Then there's alcohol. A glass of red wine now and then can be fine. Some even say beneficial in moderation. But when alcohol becomes a daily habit, or you're having several drinks a few nights a week, it starts to interfere with nitric oxide production and disrupt hormone balance. Charles used to have 2 glasses of scotch every night to unwind. It was part of his routine. But after reviewing his health, he decided to cut back to 2 drinks a week, and within a month he noticed fewer headaches, better sleep, and improved performance in the bedroom. Sometimes, less really is more. Another factor that often gets overlooked is medication. Certain cholesterol-lowering drugs, such as statins and fibrates, can have unintended side effects when it comes to sexual function. While these drugs play an important role in managing heart health, some of them can reduce levels of important hormones or interfere with nitric oxide production. If you're noticing recent changes in your performance, energy, or libido, and you've recently started or changed medications, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. There might be alternatives or supportive supplements that can help mitigate those effects without compromising your treatment. It's also worth mentioning that chronic stress, poor sleep, and a sedentary lifestyle can amplify the damage from sugar, alcohol, or medications. That's why it's not just about removing one bad habit, but slowly adjusting your lifestyle to protect what's already working well in your body. By cutting back on added sugars, limiting alcohol, checking in on your prescriptions, and supporting your vascular health, you give your body the chance to recover and thrive. Your nitric oxide levels and your overall vitality will thank you. Small changes lead to big results, and Charles, he's back to enjoying his morning walks with more energy, less brain fog, and a deeper sense of connection in every part of life. Sleep. It's something we often take for granted. But when it comes to intimacy, it may be the most overlooked factor of all, because sleep doesn't just help you feel rested. It helps your body repair. Here's why that matters. During deep, uninterrupted sleep, your stress hormone cortisol naturally drops. At the same time, your body increases the production of nitric oxide, the key molecule that supports blood flow and helps trigger erections. That's why many men still wake up with morning erections, even if they struggle at other times of the day. Your nervous system is relaxed, your hormones are balanced, and your blood vessels are functioning as they should. But here's the catch: if your sleep is fragmented, if you wake up multiple times, snore loudly, or struggle to fall asleep, that entire healing process can be interrupted. And over time, that disruption begins to show up in ways you don't expect. Fatigue, brain fog, and yes, difficulty with arousal and performance. Just ask William, a 67-year-old retired teacher from Michigan. For months, he'd been noticing a drop in his sexual drive and occasional erectile problems. He assumed it was just part of getting older, but his wife pointed out that he'd started snoring more heavily and waking up gasping. After seeing a sleep specialist, William was diagnosed with moderate sleep apnea. Within 2 weeks of starting treatment with a CPAP machine, not only did his energy return, but so did his intimacy. What William experienced is more common than you might think. Sleep apnea affects up to 50% of men over 60, many of whom remain undiagnosed. But even without a formal disorder, things like going to bed too late, blue light from screens, caffeine too close to bedtime, or late-night stress can all interfere with deep rest. That's why improving your sleep isn't just about more hours, it's about better quality. Here are a few simple ways to support restorative sleep. Create a wind-down routine. Try stretching, reading, or soft music 30 minutes before bed. Limit screen time. Blue light blocks melatonin, your natural sleep hormone. Keep your room cool and dark. Ideal sleep temperature is around 65, 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Avoid alcohol before bed. It might make you drowsy at first, but leads to fragmented sleep later in the night. If you suspect sleep apnea, such as loud snoring, daytime sleepiness, or waking up short of breath, talk to your doctor. A sleep test might reveal the missing piece of your health puzzle. Remember, your sexual response doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins while you sleep. When you give your body the rest it needs, everything else, your mood, your hormones, your connection, starts to come back into balance. And sometimes what looks like a performance issue is really just a signal that your body needs more care, more rhythm, and more restoration. So if you've been ignoring your sleep, or brushing it off as just part of aging, it may be time to look at it with new eyes. Better sleep might not only change your days, it could rekindle your nights as well. Your body still speaks. Listen kindly. Aging doesn't mean the end of intimacy, desire, or connection. It simply means listening more closely to what your body needs. One powerful insight is that problems like erectile difficulties aren't always physical. If you still experience morning erections, your body may be working just fine. But stress, poor sleep, or emotional strain could be the real blockers. Understanding the role of nitric oxide, a molecule that supports blood flow, heart health, and even testosterone, is a game changer. After 40, levels naturally decline, but the good news is, you can support your body with smart, natural choices. Breathe through your nose, move your body daily, eat nitrate-rich foods like spinach and beets, and give sleep the respect it deserves. And remember, pleasure is more than performance. Connection, laughter, touch, they matter deeply. Let go of pressure and embrace presence. Your body hasn't given up on you. So don't give up on it. With a few shifts in routine and mindset, your later years can be not just healthy, but deeply fulfilling. Because you deserve to feel good, not just to survive, but to thrive. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and leave a comment below. What's one change you'll try starting today? Subscribe to The Wise Senior and join us daily for more guidance on health, vitality, and living fully. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.